After several months of editing and visiting family in Tennessee, it was time for us to head west again. The time we spent at my family's farm over the winter was truly like coming home again after having been gone for 14 years. We were finally able to finish editing our massive amount of Alaska adventure footage under a real roof while catching up with family members I hadn't really seen much of. But honestly, the best part was watching Caroline interact and develop deep family ties with grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins she had previously barely known.
When I was a boy, I didn't know nothing. I didn't have a care in the world. I had innocence and ignorance of things I wish I still did not know. But no matter how far these songs take me, if my dreams come true or the heartaches break me, no matter where I make my bed, I long for you. Tennessee, Tennessee, I was born here and raised here, and I'll make my grave here its home. Tennessee. We've all got a story frozen in time, people and places, living and dying, heartbeats and breathing, just trying to make sense of it all. I am the second born of my mother and father. He's a lion-hearted man, she's a Jesus-loving woman, and no matter how far I roam, I always belong Tennessee, Tennessee. I was born here and raised here, and I'll make my grave here its home. Tennessee.
With each mile further west we traveled, it was hard not to get a bit of a lump in our throats, knowing that it would be some time before we would see our Tennessee family again. Unfortunately, our travels weren't under the best of circumstances, and a glance at the sky confirmed the cloud of new troubles we had accumulated over the winter months wasn't going to let us leave it behind. But we were thankful for the positive experiences with family and struck out on this journey fueled with their words of encouragement in our tank. We also had a great group of friends and fellow travelers rooting for us as well, a few of which we got to spend time with while in Tennessee.
Had to get the camera out.
Hey, listen, I should have been told. I've got to put my stage makeup on.
We're behind. You're behind.
Recognize this rig? We spent many hours getting familiar with this setup and its owners alongside the Dempster Highway as we helped recover it from the swampy tundra. Since that day, Pamela and Stuart have become close friends and had the opportunity to visit us in Tennessee as they too traveled south to escape the winter cold. They will soon export this one-ton Dodge and camper to their home country of Australia, so stay tuned as we've been invited to see some of their country in the future.
All right, so today we have a very special guest. This is, what was your name again?
Pedro Sanchez.
Pedro Sanchez, I think is his name. But anyhow, they travel around in this little beater right here. So we're going to give them a hand fixing a couple of these little issues they've got. Something like
You might also recognize this handsome devil as none other than the infamous Jorge, aka Pedro Sanchez, the much hairier half of the Live Work Wonder power duo. Jorge and Jessica have been on the road for several years now, and we had a chance to travel with them for a couple of weeks in Alaska. Along with being a couple of our favorite down-to-earth people on the road, their YouTube channel is also one of the most entertaining and well-told stories out there. And I don't just say that because I'm in love with their troopy. I promise. While we were in Tennessee, we began formulating a plan for the next part of our adventure. We wanted a way to perpetuate this lifestyle indefinitely, while still offering our family a level of comfort and a sense of security that was especially important to Sarah and Caroline. One of our greatest regrets from the fast and furious trip to the north and back was just how many incredible regions we had to bypass in order to make our landmarks before winter set in. This pace of travel can be stressful at times due to the need to constantly be on the move, and for that reason, it is the most expensive way to explore, since there's a huge investment in fuel and maintenance to cover so many miles. After a lot of discussions and research, we determined that what we needed most wasn't a larger rig with more amenities, but a different method. And so a plan was hatched to find the solution that would give us the comforts, convenience, and security our family needed to continue our explorations and storytelling for years to come.
The one thing that has been the biggest struggle is the fact that we don't have a home base. Now, not necessarily a house, but a place to come to and crash. You know, we've got some great friends that's allowed us to do that for a couple of weeks at a time.
Yeah.
We've been at my parents' house, you know, and there's nothing like having
Your own
your
space.
own space.
And your own stuff.
So we lived in a fifth wheel camper before we started this. It's one of the reasons why we were able to afford this lifestyle for the past 9-10 months.
Right.
And so we're going to return to that. That's the plan. That's the dream. We're going to return to that. We're going to do it differently this time, though, because we did a fifth wheel camper previously, and we had time. Like we bought it for a deal, and we took about 3 months. Was it 3 months?
Well, 3 months initially in the beginning, but then to actually finish remodeling it.
So here we are on like week 5 or 6. I'm not real sure anymore.
But we
Like a year
invested
and a
3
half
months
later.
before we moved into it.
Yeah.
Renovating it, painting it, adding in all these other things
New
that made it
carpet, new
ours, that made it our,
beds.
comfortable for us and fit our style. But we don't have that much time. I don't have time to renovate anything on top of all the editing and other things that we've got going on. So we are looking at Class A motorhomes today. All right, so here we go. Let's go check out some used rigs, maybe a couple new ones.
Remember, you're parked in Goofy 13.
Okay.
Right. Or what is?
The idea is that we could put the mobile base camp in the center of a region we found interesting, then range out in a pattern that would allow us to really explore and capture the heart of the land and its people before returning 1 or 2 weeks later to edit, catch up on business, clean laundry, and most importantly, spend time as a family before striking out again. The goal was to never range more than a day's travel from our hub, so that in the event someone became ill, we could simply return and recover properly. With this game plan in mind, it was just a matter of finding the perfect base camp and putting it into action. Now, we could spend hours explaining all the reasons behind our final decision, but basically it came down to the fact that we needed something that was ready to travel and required no renovation efforts. So a new or slightly used unit was our best option. Our final choice had to have a reliable power plant so it could sit idle for a month or so, but be ready to go 1,000 miles without much effort. So, a gas engine was our best option because it required less maintenance. It also had to be new enough so that financing would be available at the lowest rates possible. And finally, it had to have a way to do laundry.
Alright, now we're talking. Lots of space in this guy. I like this shower.
Eventually, after a lot of searching, we found a beautiful, yet still unsold, 1-year-old unit on the dealer lot in Knoxville. And after a bit of haggling, secured a deal that was almost too good to be true.
What day is it?
Camper
Camper day!
Can't see her. RV day.
RV!
RV!
Oh yeah, by the way guys, we bought an RV, aka mobile base camp. Thank you. All right, guys, paperwork is all signed, and this bad boy is now our mobile home.
Home sweet home.
I can't see.
You can't see?
You're in
right
it.
there. Let's go check it out.
Okay.
Yeah. This feels like home.
Feels like home. Are you so excited? We were so excited to see an important part of our plan coming together, and we quickly began prepping the new base camp for its unique role in our story. We had searched months for the perfect unit, and while no RV can have it all, this one hit nearly all the marks for our family. It wasn't long before we were right at home and knew it would give us the comfort and security we were looking for at the end of a long expedition. I was really excited to have a place with plenty of power to edit new videos. Sarah was stoked about cooking with the indoor kitchen, and Caroline soon had all of our new Christmas toys organized in her own cozy space. It seemed as if everything was falling in place for an amazing season 2 of travels. But remember earlier when I said the deal seemed too good to be true? As it would turn out, it was. I wish I could say good morning, but it's not. Apparently our brand new coach has a roof leak, and it's propagated throughout the entire ceiling, and it's stained and caused mildew and mold all throughout the ductwork and the vinyl wrapping. We're being told that in order to fix this, they have to gut the entire interior of the coach. Walls, cabinets, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom. They said they got to pull the whole thing apart so they can strip the ceiling and the styrofoam and the ductwork and the wiring and replace it all. It's not what you want to hear after spending that much on what you thought was going to be the next piece of a awesome adventure. So we're in the process of working out the details. I don't know how this is all going to shake out, but needless to say, we're not happy campers. I've thought long and hard about how to share this part of the story, or honestly whether I should even share it at all. You see, our westbound travel was overshadowed by some very unfortunate circumstances. I've decided to show you part of our patron update from back in March to continue the story. Hey patrons, just wanted to come to you with a bit of an update. You guys are supporting us. You deserve to know where we're headed next. We purchased a Class A motorhome. And the reason we did that is because we were looking for something that was going to make this lifestyle more viable in the long run. Well, we purchased the coach, and in less than 2 months, we started seeing stains in the ceiling. We found out that this coach had leaked in the ceiling to the point that it was totaled. The ceiling and the roof was totaled, and we were told that it would have to go back to the manufacturer in Elkhart, Indiana, have the entire roof removed, all of the insulation, all of the ductwork, all of the wiring, all of the ceiling structure pulled out, and then make a determination on how far the water went down the walls, and then possibly dig further and further, hopefully removing all of the mold as well while they went. So you can imagine how we felt after making this investment, having these plans. I mean, it was crushing. It is crushing. And right now we're in the process of working through how this is going to actually take place. If there's any good news to be had from that situation, it is under warranty. We really struggle with, do we buy a used one? Do we buy a new one? At this point, I'm thankful that we made the choice to buy a new one, but it's unacceptable that it would be totaled in under 2 months after purchasing it. So there will be an interesting story to play out from all of this. And the story has been ongoing ever since the issue was discovered. To make a very long story short, the manufacturer and dealer refused to give us a replacement unit or refund. We ultimately sought legal counsel and are now letting the legal system decide what's next. Fortunately, we have a lot of video evidence in our favor, so we're hopeful about the outcome once the details of the sale process are brought to light. But for now, we wait and hope and pray that things are made right. I saw the icon for it. I can only imagine. Welcome to New Mexico.
Quail!
We're in New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Just flew right into me. There's feathers flying off.
Oh, did you hit quail?
I hit a quail. It went across the road and flew right.
Welcome to New Mexico. Here's dinner. All right, guys, here we are, New Mexico. What are we doing in New Mexico? What's the significance? We're headed to Expo, right? Well, with all the drama and all the craziness that's been going on, I've had to take a short-term consulting job here in New Mexico at my old plant. Like, I worked here for like 7 years. So coming back to familiar territory, coming back to a lot of friends and coworkers and stuff. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. And the fact that we have some friends who have a double wide trailer for us to rent out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of this alfalfa field, and we're super, super, super excited because rent is crazy expensive and places are crazy hard to find because the oil field is just going crazy. So here we are. This isn't like, I guess it is like the next chapter. I mean, we're not like stopping. It's just a little hitch in our giddy up. We're just loading our guns for the next phase. So yeah, here we are. At the end of the day, we are the sum of our decisions. Sometimes the path we take ends up in a much different place than what we envisioned. It's what we do next that makes all the difference. We can choose to be overwhelmed by the problem and let the circumstance own us, or we can own our circumstance, roll up our sleeves, and start working on a solution.
So we're back to where we started. Slow dancing in the garden. Underneath the stars, just hoping in our hearts maybe we'll get it right this time. A feeling I can't explain it. At least I think it's complicated. So the black clouds are
With our rental secured for the upcoming months, we set out west again for a couple weeks of Arizona adventures before getting to work on our next challenge. While our setback may have slowed us down, we're a long way from giving up.